What's up guys, how you all doing? So it's day 5 of our 5-day stay at the Nash Lakes over in Essex. Kevin Nash himself has built up these lakes over the past 10 or 15 years to create what should be, and actually what is, one of the greatest angling facilities available throughout England, and also as well probably quite far up there in terms of places that are available in Europe as well, because this has got fish to around 60 pounds in here, but not just one or two, there are a lot of huge fish in these two lakes. Now it's made up of two lakes. You've got the Church Lake itself, which is the larger lake, I would imagine somewhere in the region of about 6 to 7 acres, something like that. And off in the background you can actually see the church, which I am guessing, due to my genius, that's where it gets its name from. And then you've also got the Copse Lake as well, which is a much smaller lake. I would imagine maybe 2 to 3 acres, something like that. I could be wrong, but just by looking at it, that's the kind of idea that I would have. Now, these lakes, I kind of expected them to be fairly immature for some reason. I guess because he's kind of dug them himself and created this entire thing, you sort of just expect them to be fairly new. A lot of the day ticket venues that you go to in the UK, and even a lot of the syndicate venues, are literally holes in the ground. These are far from that. These are completely mature lakes. They're beautiful. There's trees to probably, I don't know, 20, 30 feet all over the place. Beautiful flowers, beautiful vegetation, crazy amounts of wildlife. The amount of wildlife that you see here is just unbelievable. The kind of diversity of it, and like I say, all of the vegetation as well. But at the same time, they've managed to keep it so it's also easy to use. The facilities here are fantastic. You've got a lodge that sits on the Church Lake, which is actually hidden away, so it's not anything imposing or unsightly. And in there you've got shower facilities, like a full kitchen, and also kind of a lounge as well. So in the evenings we were getting together there for dinner with my friends and just kind of chilling out in there. And then in the daytime you can use it to put all of your bait in the freezer, obviously fridge as well, and you can cook, you can do, you know, use the toaster or the microwave, all of these different kind of things. So that's great as well. All the way around the lakes is a track. You can't actually drive up here, but Les the bailiff, who's an absolute top bloke, takes you around on the quad, so you don't have to worry about dragging your gear for miles or anything like that. It's all catered for you. It's a really, really fantastic facility, and we've been completely blown away by just how spectacular it is. Now, in terms of the fishing has been difficult. At the moment it is late on in August, it's the last week in August. It's by far and away the hottest week that we've had in the UK so far. It's been over 30 degrees every single day. And obviously if you know anything about fishing, you know that that is probably about the worst weather that you can possibly get. Ridiculously high pressure, not a cloud in the sky, and just insanely hot. It's been uncomfortably hot. And that's really made the fishing difficult. You know, we came here with an idea to use zigs and bottom baits, but to be honest, the only place you could really catch them on the top lake was off the top, and unfortunately the way we divided the swims up into kind of 4, there was only really one person who sort of seemed to have access to those fish, although obviously, you know, if we were better anglers maybe we could have done something about that, but they just seemed to be all in a certain area for the whole time. Now, the bottom baits just didn't seem to work. I've been using the Key and the Key Cray, and I've been using that to much success in other places, but this week I tried, you know, loading up a spot with a lot of bait. I tried little bits and pieces. I've tried all kinds of different rigs. I've tried bottom baits, I've tried pop-ups, I've tried white, I've tried pink. I've tried everything. I've really, really angled quite hard, and just to no joy whatsoever, unfortunately. Now, that was the first few days. Now I came down onto the Copse Lake. I actually booked a place on the Copse Lake as well, and on the Copse Lake it's a lot more difficult. There is weed absolutely everywhere, as there is on the Church Lake, so you need to be probably of a certain ability to come and fish these lakes, of which I was just about kind of borderline in. And the Copse Lake, I would say, is even more difficult. It is literally ram-packed with weed. You have to find the spots, or you have to fish maybe bags or zigs or chods, but I just didn't really fancy slinging chods and bags out to nothing and just hoping that a fish went over it and picked it up. So I decided to spend a bit more time down here, and I actually found an individual fish just going around on its own, and I managed to go around with just some slow sinking maggots on a little 6-foot rod, and I did actually hook it. Unfortunately it swam round and round the lilies, and as it pulled off it just snapped my line, so unfortunately I did lose that one, and that was a large fish, and I lapped the lake over and over and over and over again, just trying to watch it all the way around, watch where it was stopping, drop the maggots in front of it, try not to spook it, all that kind of stuff. And then the very next day I thought, do you know what, I'm going to put a rod out on one of the spots, and I did that over some maggots and also some crushed up key cray, and within half an hour it ripped off, and without going into a long story, there it was, the wood carving, and I was literally blown away.
Don't pop off 2 seconds, tell you.
So this is the end really. We've got 1 hour to go now. Again, I've been lapping and lapping this lake, trying to find a little area that maybe a fish is feeding in, that I can just sort of maybe like drop something in front of its nose and potentially grab it. It's not quite as easy as that obviously, but it's been just phenomenal. It really has. From meeting legends like Kevin and Alan to catching what I think is the biggest common in the country and just one of the most beautiful fish I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how I'm ever going to top it. I really don't. I guess I'll have to just come back next year when it's heavier and try and catch it again. But anyway, got an hour left. I'm off.